Welcome to our beautiful vineyard. These vines are over 100 years old. I personally know every single one. The vineyard crew lovingly tenders the vines. Oh look, a bunch of grapes. Look at these beautiful grapes. This is our state-of-the-art winery. This is where all the magic happens. Oh, shit, sorry. Here at Alpine Wine, we've got a great team culture. Been working with the guys now for a long time. We're all in it together to build that dream. Oh look, Dave, come down. We call him Dave. He's Dave. It's definitely a Dave. See you, Dave. There are a few things that got me started with wanting to have my own label. There was my brother. He's not in the wine industry, but saw an opportunity to maybe do something fun and creative. At the time, I had a good mate, Carl Coombs, who was living with me, another winemaker. He was starting to do his own thing. And Lucy, my wife, she was like, stop talking about it and just do it. So yeah, from there we just sorted out some grapes from a vineyard in Gibbston and went for it, really. When we decided to have our own label, we didn't have much of a direction or an idea of where we wanted to take it. We just wanted to do something of our own. And I think that was me wanting to creatively do something different, not only in the bottle, but on the outside of the bottle. And I guess where it sits for me is, I love wine hugely, and all aspects of wine, from growing to making to drinking. But with Alpine, I just wanted to make something that was fun and approachable and accessible, and I wanted to try different winemaking techniques. Recently, we've made the big call to source only organic grapes, so that's become a bit of a pillar of our brand. And then a lot of the philosophy is based out of principles of, I guess, natural winemaking, which has no definition, but for me, what natural winemaking is organic fruit, minimal intervention, so wild ferments, minimal handling, just letting the grapes speak for themselves. And for me, personally, just trying to create something super juicy, delicious, that people are gonna love. We don't have our own vineyard, we don't have our own winery, so we're super reliant on the support of the industry to sell us grapes and then for another winery to let us make our wine. When we decided to start Alpine, we're like, well, we're going to have to stand out. We're going to do something differently. We're going to have to, and what we've gone for is do everything differently. So we wanted the bottles to look different. We were under crown caps up until this vintage. The branding is, it's vibrant. The wines are vibrant, the wines are fresh. Each year we wanted to do something innovative or, try something new. That's where we started thinking about, we did some wine in kegs in 2019, and then I've been super passionate about canning as a legitimate format vessel for wine. So Head in the Cloud is what we now refer to as Nouveau Pinot Noir. So we put that on the label. It's a style of Pinot Noir that is not aged in oak. It doesn't have a huge amount of time on skins. It is something that is vibrant, has good fresh acidity. We recommend that it's served chilled, and it is perfect with any summer meal. Barbecues, outdoor picnics. When we decided to make this wine, we were talking about, labels and that sort of thing, and we looked at sort of what was out there at the market and some brands and stuff that we admired and respected and thought were pretty cool. And then I just sort of had this idea stick in my head about, maybe giving the wines an identity and giving them an expression. And it just sort of came to me, pretty quickly actually. I was like, oh, well, Here in the Clouds, we're kind of this is just this dream like creating your own wine label. There's sort of like me being a bit of a dreamer, and I think it's important to be a dreamer and to, not feel bound by tradition or rules or boundaries. And so this is what Alpine is all about, and this is what Head in the Clouds is all about. So Head Over Heels is our little unique spin on a rosé. It's a field blend of 3 varietals: Pinot Blanc, Gruner Veltliner, and Pinot Noir, all from Mount Edward's Morrison Vineyard in Pisa. Rosé is just French for pink, so that gives a bit of creative license as to how you achieve a pink drink. And field blends for me are a really cool way to introduce new flavours, different structure, and sort of just this different version of a rosé, which is typically can be one-dimensional. So it's on its skins for a few days to sort of get some of those really cool floral and herbal aspects out. And then what's really cool is it's just for me, rosé is such a massive category, and I think it's super fun to have something that is, pink in colour, but made very differently. And the name Head Over Heels, rosé is one of those categories that, I think there's a fair amount of the population out there that maybe might only drink rosé, like my mum. And, it's sort of one of those drinks you can maybe fall head over heels for. So that's sort of where the name came from. And one of the little tagline I like using with Head Over Heels is dive right in. And we also have our canned version of Head Over Heels. So this is the same wine as the version in the bottle. The thing about it that we've done differently this year is that it's been carbonated, so it's a sparkling version. A delicious version of Head Over Heels. Future Looks Bright is a new wine for us from 2021. It's from Carrick Vineyard, another certified organic grower and winemaker in Bannockburn. Riesling for me is a super versatile varietal, and most winemakers will tell you that they love Riesling for that reason. Dry Riesling particularly is a great way of expressing purity of fruit and minerality. So our little special take on this Riesling was that it was fermented on skins for 3 weeks before being aged in old barrels. Again, using skin contact to layer in a few different flavour profiles. It's floral on the nose, and it's juicy and delicious. It's unashamedly high in acid, but with enough weight from the barrels aging and that texture to not feel too dry or too acidic. For me, when thinking of an expression for this one, Future Looks Bright, it was a bit of a play on sort of how grim maybe some people's version of the world might be at the moment. So it was a bit of a way to brighten people up, and then Riesling being high in acid, it sort of plays nicely into that sort of brightness aspect of Riesling. So Piquette is a type of beverage that I've always been quite keen to explore and have a go at. A really cool thing about the history of Piquette is back in the day in the vineyards of France, they would use the leftover skins to rehydrate and make this really cool, light, effervescent version of wine. And, it would be handed around as smoko, or the equivalent of smoko, whatever that is in French, and shared amongst the vineyard workers as this sort of thirst-quenching version of a wine that was, got them buzzed for sort of the next round of picking. And we've called ours Double Dip as a little play on double dipping on those grapes. So we've used the grapes for this Piquette were left over from the juice and the grapes from the Head Over Heels, along with some Pinot Gris grapes from Aurum. And we rehydrated those, soaked them overnight, drained it off, and then we've sent it to our friends at a canning spot in Queenstown, and they've canned it all up. It's super yum. It's 4.5% alcohol. It's grapey, it's lively, it's got fizz. It's everything you kind of want for a sessionable version of wine. I think what's been great is it's a family business, so in the early days, Louis, who's 5 now, he was probably 3 at the time, he was helping me label bottles. Zoe, always happy to taste test the product, which is hilarious. She's only 3. And then, with the family, my brother and my sister-in-law Kitty, their kids, and Lucy, it's been quite a cool journey, and it's been a roller coaster, but I hope that we're all super proud of just where we've got to, starting a label, getting it out there. Now it's in some really awesome spots that I have massive respect for. So Alpine for me, in just a few words, is a wine brand that makes super delicious, accessible, vibrant wines. We want people to just sit back, relax and enjoy the wines, share them with their mates, share them with their family. It's not about swirling and talking about, what you can smell and taste. For me, wine should just be this thing that just slots in seamlessly with your surroundings. And if we can achieve that and then also add in innovation and cans and new beverages, and that all just sort of flows into the world of wine and people enjoying wines and sharing good times, then if we can be part of that, it's perfect. Just doing the recycling.
Yeah, coming guys. Won't be too much longer.
Fucking buy it. You better fucking buy it. No, just kidding.